One of these shots was recorded with an ND filter. See if you can tell which one is which. Hey y'all, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Someone commented on one of my videos letting me know that Potensic actually has a variable ND filter for the Potensic Atom 2. I wasn't aware of that. So I reached out to Potensic and asked them to send me one, which they did. So that's what we're checking out in this video today. Now, I've always been sort of on the fence about whether using an ND filter on a drone really makes much of a difference. But it's been a while since I've used one, so I thought, heck, let's go ahead and let's let that be the focus of this video today. Let's see if using an ND filter really makes a big difference to the eye. I know in theory what it's doing. It's reducing the amount of light that's entering the sensor, allowing you to reduce the shutter speed, and in theory, allowing you to get more natural motion blur. But when you're flying through the air, does that really matter? So that's what we're gonna check out today, guys. All right, the first thing we're gonna do is we're going to get our baseline going. So I'm gonna power on the Atom 2, and right now I have the filter set at notch 3, in between notch 3 and 4. So I wanna see what that's doing to the light, because what we're going to do is we're going to set the shutter speed to 1/60th of a second, because we're going to be shooting in 4K 30. So you always do twice the frames per second. So we're going to do 1/60th. I'm going to leave ISO in auto so we get good exposure. So that's kind of what I'm going to be doing right now, just kind of testing to see if I should increase the intensity of the filter. Now, hopefully you can see this. There is a little dial here that you use to increase and decrease the intensity of the filter. It's numbered from 1 to 5. Hopefully that is in focus. But there's a little like notch, white notch, that lets you know what number you're on. So yeah, that's how that works. And let me show you how to put this thing on. It's really, really simple. Okay, so hopefully this is in focus, but you can see that the filter has 2 hooks. You can see that, 2 hooks on the back. And they're basically hooking onto the camera, what looks like a heat vent. And hopefully you can see that. That's where the filter is hooking into. Slide it in to those vents, and then slide it over the camera. And let me make sure I didn't get my fingerprints on the camera there, which I didn't. Okay, so, and you just slide it into place. Hopefully you could see what I was doing there, but it's really, really simple, really easy. And obviously you want to do this while the drone is powered down. All right, and of course I'm going to be flying with the PTD1 touchscreen controller, and I'm going to go ahead and record the screen so you can see exactly what I'm doing here. Okay, so right now the drone is in auto mode, so we're going to switch over to manual, and you can see right away that we are completely blown out. I've already set this to 1/60th of a second. You can see our ISO is at 100. It's not going to go any higher than that because we are blown out. Now, if I were to switch this over to auto, I don't think I can show you, but if I were to switch this over to auto, it's going to take our shutter speed up pretty high to get us to even. Let's see, are we there? Yeah, so about 1/800th of a second to get us to even. So that's quite the difference. So what is this telling us? This is telling us that we need to increase the intensity of the ND filter. Okay, so I have increased the ND filter up to notch 5 as far as it could go. And I do see some improvement here on the screen. We're down to +4 now, but we are still going to need to increase that shutter speed because we want to get to at least even exposure, and we are there. I'm going to leave ISO on auto, so as we get up in the air, if it needs to make some adjustments, it can. I'll leave everything else auto, white balance auto. My plan is to take some shots with the ND filter and then take the same exact shots without the ND filter. And what we're going to do is we're going to take some shots at high altitude, and then we're going to take some shots at low altitude, which is where I think the difference will really be more prevalent. That's just a theory, but we'll test that theory and see what happens. And you know what? I think I am going to change the white balance because it's moving around too much. I prefer to keep that static, so we'll leave it at 5600. We can get away with that. Aha! Now we are right where we want to be. You can see that we are at 1/60th of a second. ISO is back down to 100. We are at even exposure. All right, now that is probably going to change when I turn. So yeah, that is going to cause us to go over a little bit, but I think this is what we want, guys. Okay, so first things first, I am going to try some lateral moves. Okay, you probably noticed this in the opening shots just like I did, that the ND filter is definitely shifting the colors. I don't like that, and it's actually really surprising. So my number one observation is that the image just looks more natural without the filter in terms of color. Okay, let's freeze it here and take a look at the motion blur. Now here's where it gets interesting for me. I actually think it looks more natural in real life with the motion blur. The colors in the shot without the filter are better and the image is sharper and has more detail, but the blur is actually more pleasing and more like what I'm used to seeing in movies and shows and stuff like that. So if the filter wasn't shifting the colors, I think I'd be more inclined to use it. And it's not because I locked the white balance here, because I didn't lock it in the opening shot flying over those trees. But what do you think? Do you prefer the more drony looking shot or the one with the natural motion blur? All right, here are the close to the ground shots I mentioned I was going to do. And then the higher altitude shots. Now, I'm a little conflicted because with the ND filter, that shot is just exposed better overall, right? The shadows aren't as dark. The bright areas aren't blown out. It looks good in terms of dynamic range. That's a huge difference to me. And if the filter wasn't shifting the colors so much, I think I definitely want to use this filter every single time. Now these shots are pretty darn close, but I can still see the difference in the colors on the left. For some reason, the filter makes the image warmer with that orange cast over everything, including the sky, but I think I prefer the way motion blur looks just as a general observation. And this isn't a polarized filter, but the water on the left looks a little less reflective, doesn't it? just sound like a broken record, so I won't say anything about the color difference again, but you know what I'm saying. Now, after all of that, the last shots I took for this test go against everything I've been saying pretty much. The shot with the ND filter is clearly the better image here. It looks really good. I don't know, maybe the lighting was just right here because I didn't change a doggone thing. Without the filter, it looks a bit flat and overexposed, but the shot with the ND filter looks natural, well exposed, the colors look good. I don't know what's going on, y'all. So based on all the footage we reviewed, I don't think I'll be reaching for this ND filter. But I actually would like to, because I do think video footage looks a lot better with that natural motion blur. I'll only use an ND filter if it does what it's supposed to do, which is allow me to reduce the shutter speed, which this one does, but I don't want to see any changes to the image. And this one changes the image. But let me know what you think down in the comments. You saw what I saw, so I'm curious to hear your thoughts on the whole thing. But as always, be good to somebody, be good to yourself. Later, y'all.
There's so much trouble in the world today. It's so hard to get ahead, yeah. Wishing my worries won't just go away. Nothing seems to clear my weary head.